Hey guys, in the last video or so we did a shop walk around. Well, one of the cool things about doing a shop walk around tour is when we finally get a project finished, we can do a little update with you guys. So today we're going to show you our new Peterbilt truck with our movie quad generators installed on it. So come on, let's check it out. All right guys, so we started with a 389 short hood, we call them. That may not be right. I think the 389 gets you the short hood. 14.4, 46,000 pound. Rear lockers, so they both lock together and they both have the interlock drive shaft like on all big trucks. Double wall frame front to back, has a Cat 6NZ with an 18 speed. So this was a heavy truck, 4-axle truck, so we took one of the axles out and we took the fifth wheel off because it had a long slide fifth wheel being a heavy haul truck. 7-inch stacks. Smiley and them went out and bought more tanks. So we have a 110 gallon tank that just services the truck, and then we have a 150 gallon on this side that does the generator. And on the other side, we have another 110 gallon tank and another 150 gallon tank. That gives us 410 gallons of fuel dedicated to the generator and 110 gallons dedicated to the truck. At Parker, one of the things we like, the big square bumper, and we do 10 lights, not 9. We haven't got our Swan on there yet. We've still got the original Peterbilt handle. Smiley did the stone guards over the fenders. We did all the tires and wheels, had them all polished. This was kind of a vocational truck. So it had like the black tank, so Smiley's upgraded some of those. We've got the polished out air tanks now. Womack out of Dallas, Georgia did these beds for us. I really like this bed. They did the lights for us. We've got 4 or 5 of their beds on some of our other trucks and we really like them. Nice heavy construction. If you look here, they tied it to the frame really well. So you see how the truck frame is here. You know, this is where the old mud flap hangers used to be. The truck frame came back. They plated over the top of that heavy frame to tie the truck frame to the bed frame. They did the nice integration of the glad hands on the back with the super heavy panel. It gives us a lot of flexibility. I like the way they integrated the lights. Smiley did all of the stuff that he does to the inside of it, you know, because it was kind of a vocational truck, but he went ahead and upgraded the dash, put nice leather seats in it, did like all the chrome, new steering wheel. So typically this truck would be going, you know, side to side. So it's not gonna be like the truck goes out on the road for a week. It'd be just moved from side to side. But it does have the sleeper, so in case your trip was like over 600 miles, you'd have the ability to sleep in it while you were going. Also gives you a place to secure and lock stuff up. And then we put 2 multi-quip movie quad generators. A lot of people call them Crawford, the movie quad generator that everybody does. So these are the multi-quip, I think it's 1400 or SG 1400. It has the 6.7 Cummins engine in it. I think that's the same engine basically that's in a pickup truck. That gives us plenty of horsepower. The 1400 comes from the movie world, where if you run it in 3-phase at 120 volts, it roughly gives you 1400 amps. Kind of the standard for like big concerts and TV world, movie world, live sports events, anywhere you need power that's really quiet. They're newer units, very low hours. And so this is gonna go out to some different sports production kind of things where they kind of run the TV compound, the TV truck, so it can give you the redundancy. So if you want up to like about 130, 40, 150 kW load, put both of these on there. And if you lose either one of them, they don't even hardly see a blip and everything keeps running. The bed's set up so that we can put road packs with cables on them to go out to the show. Typically these things would go in, you know, like on a Thursday or a Friday when it loads, and then stay through the weekend for the event and then go to the next site. So we designed this package primarily for like the film, TV, live sports industry, also data centers or anywhere where you need 140 kW of power. By having these 2 units at 160, they can back each other up, so it gives us the redundancy. We've done videos about redundancy in the past on generators all the way up to 2 meg. Well, this is kind of the same concept. We also have 2 more of these that we can send on site, and we can parallel 3 or 4 or 2 of them together and give you completely redundant power so that if one of them goes down during your critical shoot, you're not affected. We haven't got there quite yet, but what we'll do is we'll do a 2,000 watt inverter that has a charger on it so that we can go back to shore power, and then that would give about 50 or 60 amps to keep the truck batteries maintained. And then the generators, they each have a 120 volt battery maintainer on them because these units are 24 volt. So then that'll all be wired in and integrated. And then when one of the 2 generators are running, there'll be a relay that grabs that shore power and it'll keep the truck and all the batteries maintained even when the generators are running. Of course, they have alternators. Part of the thing that we did is once we got the fuel systems all built out, because that's quite complex because we've got 2 generators and we've got 3 tanks and we're pulling fuel from 2 different generators out of 3 different tanks, and then we're returning fuel to 3 different tanks from 2 different generators. So that required some pretty ingenious plumbing. Shout out to Shaky and Smiley that work here in our shop to get that done. We've tested it. We also load banked them to the specification that the movie people would want. They would want to know that the generators could withstand the load with certain tolerances. So if you go check out our load bank video, we talk about how we load bank. But for these units, since they're about 160 kW each, we put about 140 kW load between them. So they were both pulling about 70 kW. And then we turned one of them off and make sure that it could keep the load without swagging too bad. These two would be paralleled together. The technology in these generators is really nice. So it load banked up really nice. It's easy to parallel. So it's kind of a neat package. So if you guys are in the need and you're in the Southeast or really anywhere, if you're willing to pay for the freight, this would be a nice unit for you to utilize. It's one more thing that Parker Systems adds to our repertoire. And with this, we could send distro, cable, any power related stuff that you might need.